say, yeah, I do. I know you do. You wanted to. I know you do. But really one of the toughest guys. For many times I advise this guy to compete. He takes fights for 1 week. What's the short notice fight?
Russia.
Probably, I guarantee you, was less than 1 week. I guarantee you that. Right? A couple of days notice, 3 days notice.
Just love it. Yeah.
So he likes to jump ahead and whatever fights I just said.
Tell her.
To say no.
I remember a fight in Russia. Remember that? And you just took that fight against the undefeated Russian wrestler, whatever it is there. The guy was 50-0 and just. So this is one of the biggest cojones guys that I know. Not two guys that stand out. Really, this guy and Matt Lee. What's another one that's an unbelievable mindset. I can't believe it. You know? Why are you doing this?
Why do I do?
Yeah, why you do
martial
fighting,
arts?
martial arts in general?
It's more of a personal challenge for me than anything. You know, as long as I've trained and fought, I've never really overcome that personal battle you get from it. Every step you get to, you look at the next step. You just keep progressing in your own personal growth and achievement. And I mean, everybody in this room's grappled a little bit now. I mean, you guys are already starting to see the physical and mental benefits from it, and I don't know, you get addicted to it. It's hard to get off that.
When you talk about personal growth, what comes to mind?
It's not only discipline in your life, but it's
Over there.
discipline in making good choices going forward as far as personal relationships. And a lot of times I think I found a lot of people with jiu-jitsu end up cutting out toxic elements in their life because they realize their own self-worth and letting people or toxic influences into their life is bringing them down. They understand that.
That's 100%. I want to hear from you, just using this thing here, because I guarantee you some of those guys that's the same thing. You know, one time, not long ago, you decided to take a break and we went to Thailand.
Well, I wasn't really taking a break, it was more coming back from Thailand. So Thailand is the best place to train in ever, I swear.
Really?
It's low stress, beautiful environment. Everybody there is basically like-minded. We're all here for the same thing. They all have the same goals. You wake up every day and it's just train and live in paradise.
Tell them a little bit about the training there. The Muay Thai training. You did a lot of Muay Thai there, right?
Well, we actually did a lot more Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and MMA over there. The Muay Thai program is smaller than the MMA program.
And the Tiger Muay Thai?
Yeah.
Really?
It's crazy as that sounds. As far as professional fighters go.
Professional Muay Thai.
Professional Muay Thai.
Not commercial Muay Thai, but professional. I mean,
commercial, the gym is enormous for beginners, intermediates, and all that. There's a huge demand for that at Tiger. But when it comes down to like the pro team, you're looking at 12, 15 people. Then you go up to the MMA room, and there'll be anywhere from 40 to 70 people in a pro sparring class. But you got people from everywhere. Hardly anybody from Thailand. They're just areas from all over the world.
that was the biggest experience you had with that multicultural?
Yeah, it was great. Or trying to coach over there, and then you realize you just said everything in English, and about 3 people speak English. And you're looking around, there's like 18 different languages, and you're like, you guys got that? You all understand? And unless they have like an extra coach or an interpreter there, like it's mostly just sign language and body movement. But thankfully, a lot of the guys over there are so good, and they do the sport for so long, they understand what's going on, and you can still communicate.
Tell me the best thing about Thailand and the worst thing about Thailand. Party.
I actually stayed away from partying because I was there to train, and I think the best part of it was just the weather and the simplicity. Like everywhere you go and everywhere you do, everything's beautiful. Unless you're there in the summertime and it rains all the time. So, but yeah, I lived like a block away from the gym, so you could just walk right over there. You drive to the beach on your moped. It was just gorgeous.
And going back to Iowa, is Iowa home?
Yeah, that was the worst part. Who's having to leave and go home?
You guys have any questions for him? I have a bunch still.
What are some of the things that jiu-jitsu has introduced you to that you didn't get into the sport, you wouldn't have seen otherwise?
Besides like everything I mentioned earlier, really it's the people. The best people I've met in my entire life are because of this sport and because of where it's taken me. And it's amazing, doesn't matter what country I go to or what state or what gym I'm in. Like I said earlier, the environment in Thailand was amazing because everybody was like-minded. Everybody was there because they were trying to get better. They're trying to push themselves. Just like all you guys here in this gym, you're here to learn and you're here to better yourself. And when it's hard to be a negative influence in somebody's life if you walk into a door trying to make yourself better. I think that's the one thing with jiu-jitsu is the mindset that everybody has. And traveling, you just meet the greatest people ever, and they want to, everybody wants to know about you, wants to be your best friend, and yeah. And I think the best thing about jiu-jitsu is the people.
Thank you.
Sure.
Tyron, you raise your hand. Let's go.
What are the living conditions like?
In
Why you
Thailand?
taught me?
Well, I mean, it depends on what you want to do. Most of the time, it's like your apartment would be like a one-room deal, bed in the middle, TV, bathroom.
Oh, can you tell me where in Thailand you actually stayed? Because there is a lot of,
I stayed in
Bangkok is a complete different world.
No, I didn't
Crazy.
go. I wasn't in mainland Thailand. I was in South Thailand off an island called Phuket, and that's where a lot of the fighting schools are at down there. But a lot of times your apartment is just super simple, and that was part of the living I loved. But it was just one room, a bed, a TV, maybe a little fridge or something. But then your bathroom was sink, toilet, drain on the floor, and a shower handle coming off the wall. Yeah, everything's super cheap and affordable over there. People are real nice.
Food too, right?
Food's amazing. Food is amazing. I mean, I caught food poisoning a couple of times, but it was more than worth it. Yeah, it passes in a day or so.
More questions there. Yeah.
So what was your diet when you were there? I know you said that you obviously ate food, you got food poisoning, but what did you mostly eat while you were there?
The food poisoning was from chicken. I'm pretty sure I know exactly what I had when I got it. And really, it's because they had so many people at the restaurant. They would have raw chicken cooking right next to the done chicken. So I'm guessing that's probably what it was. But I don't know. I mean, I ate a lot of curries over there, but otherwise, I mean, if you're really picky with food, you can go over there and just eat Americanized food as well. And they have everything over there. But I like to eat a lot more at like the local spots where it was cheaper. And ate a lot of greens that we don't even know what they are over here.
Do you have like a specific example of like the greatest like turnaround that you've seen with a person, either through like you training or someone else that you've seen through like changing with like more healthy relationships, lifestyle, diet?
I don't know if I want to bring it down to like a personal example, but I have.
Oh no, there's someone else.
Yeah, I have unlimited examples of people that, their life is just in the gutter and they walk in that gym and a lot of times people just need something to believe in or to believe in themselves or a goal to push towards. And once they have that positive outlet in their life, they can come in and de-stress,
I have a question also that's kind of related to that, but knowing your personal story in life, not related to yourself, but you guys know that Iowa is really a big hub for I'm not saying narcotics, but at least opioids, right?
methamphetamines.
Yeah. And I know that because you had this, he used to rent some apartments that he built up and rebuilt, and you have some stories that said that. You have any stories of people that are actually really addicted? I know I do.
Yeah.
Addicted.
Oh, yeah. I'd rent out
And then
houses.
ran
too.
out of space and started doing sports and.
That's why I'm getting out of renting, because you rent out a house to somebody that you knew growing up and everything, you don't realize they have a drug problem, and the next thing you know, the entire house is destroyed. They don't even have remorse for it because the only thing in their life is their drug addiction. But back to what you were saying, I've watched people like that come into the gym and completely turn their lives around and do great. And at the same time, I've watched people get away from the gym, go down a bad path, end up in jail, and those same people, I've watched them come back, they get into the gym, they focus on it, and they turn their life back around. My first gym I trained at down in Texas, I know of guys that left and they did really bad for years, and they were like, you know what, I'm moving back in with you guys. They moved back in, lived with the coach, and life's great. They got to find that positive outlet in life.
Tyron, your turn, because I know you have something.
How was your experience in the UFC? Positive, good, and like, how did it mold you into the
For
fight?
me, overall, it wasn't the best experience because I had kind of, I had a bad experience with the sport, and I kind of was over it. I didn't have any goals. I already achieved way more than I ever thought I would, and then you guys called me up and was like, hey, you want to come do this reality show? I'm like 40 pounds overweight, hadn't been training in months, but I came down and did it, and I didn't have the best showings. I ended up losing 2 fights in the show. I lost a decision to the current champion, Kamaru Usman, and after that, yeah, I lost a lot of motivation, and it wasn't from my experience in UFC. It was from my experience at the previous organization I was at, where I was a champion at, and the way some of the politics of the sport went down kind of really turned me on.
Did you say World Fighting Championship?
Yeah, WSOF.
I mean, it's still like you got to be top tier, so that's a blessing in itself. And you fought Kamaru Usman too. Like you said, he is current champion. Would you, like, if you could, would you go back into the sport of UFC or MMA at like?
Absolutely. They've asked me this before. Liborio knows I'm getting ready to open up a gym here in a couple months, and my partners all want to know. No, it's up in Iowa. My partners all want to know. So like, you're done fighting, right? I'm like, if you put me in a gym and I'm working out, like I'm gonna fight. I mean,
That's the problem with this guy, is that
I'm gonna fight if I'm not working out, so I might as well
and
fight.
that's the problem. If there's somebody that raised their hand there, so I have a fight for you in, I don't know, in Brazil. He will go there, taking a train and 10 buses to get there with no quarter man. I'm here to show after fight. That sometimes it's the good and the bad, because he goes this mentality about himself and challenging himself the whole time. But sometimes that preparation, that science behind it. How many of you guys here are doing actually kinesiology? I know that, there is this thing about there is a lot of science behind this. You have to have the periodization. You have to have the preparation. You got to be on your training and all your skills, not just the technical, but man, the diet's huge.
The diet's huge.
The diet's just huge. This guy was cutting weight. How many guys there were passing out, or guys that had seizures because of cutting weight? Remember this?
Yeah.
Whatever living in that house was craziness. You guys have no idea. I had people dropping down in the same day, 20 pounds in the same day.
And I found out, I can lose 30 pounds in a couple weeks for a fight, but if you haven't been training every day and you're not prepared for that, you can't do that and have anything left. and something else on that point is, it doesn't matter what you did in the past, the present is everything. So if I'm not training every day like a world-class fighter, it doesn't matter what I did last year or the year before, I'm not on that level anymore. So unless I'm, like you're saying, unless I'm doing the preparation, then that's not what you are as a product. So you gotta put in the work, and if you stop putting in the work, then you're not on that level anymore and you fall off. So I finally kind of had a little sit down with myself this year, and every year I come back and I take a big long break, and then somebody offers me a big fight on short notice, and I'm like, that's what I want, that's what I need to get back into this. You want motivation, but you got to learn, you can't jump back into the same spot that you were in. So you got to take a step back and, like Liborio was saying, like, put in the preparation, do things right.
Boy,
I
you
think you
listen
still
to
can fight
the old man,
UFC.
right? There you go. But there's a whole entire life, you know, over fighting right now. And like you said, I agree so much. The landscape for fighting changes so quick. It's so
And
quick, it changes. It's
Life
incredible.
is so fast, your window of competition isn't big, so you want to capitalize on that, but at the same time, you don't want to ruin it. And taking bad fights, taking a lot of damage or something is going to affect you a lot later on in life when your competition years are done and over with, you know? At some point in my life, nothing that I achieved in my 20s is going to matter, you know?
No, it will, man.
I mean, it'll matter, but nothing compared to what it does in the present, you know? In the present, it could be everything, but when I'm 80 years old, what I did when I was 25, you know, it's not really gonna weigh too heavy on me.
There is, for everything you guys do, has to have a sustainable meaning. You know what I meant, right? When I
Yeah.
mean sustainable, you can be the world champion if you don't have a business plan to how to run your business. You're not gonna make money. That's period, what it is. You can be the best in the world, and I know tons of the best in the world. They are. But right now, they're completely broken. Completely broken. Highest level at the highest level. Because they don't know the basics of the business side. I hope you guys get this one day too. It's gonna make difference. It's gonna make a huge difference. And there's another thing too. If you don't value yourself, or you don't know your worth, don't expect somebody else to do it. Make sense what I'm saying? Do not sell yourself very cheap, because you're gonna have to live with that and your family also. Don't forget this. I'm telling you this. And if they're good in negotiation, they're gonna push you down. Doesn't matter what you do, they're gonna push you down. It's up to you to bring it up. I hope it makes sense what I'm saying to you. And if it's not right now, it will make sense in the future. Okay? Guys, thank you. Thank you.